Okay, good evening. We are going to call the September 12th, 2022 Oak Park Board of Education regular meeting to order. Time is 7 p.m. Ms. Greer, would you please call the roll?
Clark.
Here.
Copeland. Davis.
Here.
Alvin.
Here.
Hoda.
Here.
Lunkins.
Here.
And Smith.
Here.
Thank you. We do have a quorum, and the next item that we have is swearing in of newly appointed members, Larminder Davis and Zandra Clark. I hope I said that right. Want to congratulate both of our new school board trustees, Ms. Clark, Dr. Davis, and so since we need to swear them in, we will get ready to do that one at a time, starting with, I'm going in alphabetical order, but starting with Trustee Clark, and then we will do Trustee Davis. They should stand, is that correct?
Mhm.
Trustee Clark, would you please stand and then repeat after, raise your right hand and then repeat after me. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of member of the Board of Education
of member of the Board of Education
of Oak Park Schools
of Oak Park Schools
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations. I should have got a picture of that if we can. Can you stand up one more time? You stand up and just, you don't have to do anything. Just raise your right hand. Let's get a picture and get this to Brandon. See if we can get these on the website or social media, I'm sorry. Okay, we got it?
Yep.
So, okay, thank you. Somebody's got the, I don't have a 14 yet, so maybe you guys have, the most powerful camera known to man.
Sure, we just talked about
Trustee Davis, would you please stand and raise your right hand? Repeat after me, please. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of member of the Board of Education
of member of the Board of Education
of Oak Park Schools
of Oak Park Schools
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Hey, yeah, congratulations. So, I'm trying to get this. So I just did the update, so now I got to put in all kind of code. Congratulations.
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 Thank
All right.
you.
Congratulations to both of our new trustees. Welcome aboard. We're happy to have you. Any comments from members of the board already? Those of us who are already members? Any comments? None? Any comments from our two new members?
Just
You don't have
excited
to.
to be here. I'm just excited to be here.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Just excited to be here, advocate for the children, and work hard on their behalf.
Sounds good, sounds good. Well, we're excited to have you. Trust me, we're excited to have you. We're getting low on numbers here, so we're happy to have you. Okay, moving on with our agenda, the approval.
I can get this smaller.
I'm sorry?
You know the comments I always have with this computer.
Okay. I don't know where Jim is, but maybe we can get you some help. Approval of the agenda and order of business. The agenda was provided to all of us prior to this meeting. And just making sure there are no additions, deletions, or anything of that nature from to or from the agenda. If none, without objection, we'll pass a motion to approve the agenda by unanimous consent. Is there an objection to doing so? Hearing none, okay, the agenda is hereby passed. We'll go on to the consent agenda, where we have two items: approval of minutes from the September 7th, 2022 meeting, and approval of personnel actions.
Getting the ours is touch.
Are there any concerns relative to any of the two items on the consent agenda? Hearing none, without objection, we'll pass a motion to approve the consent agenda by unanimous consent. Is there an objection to doing so? Hearing none, the consent agenda is hereby passed, and we will move to reports. We have one this evening from our superintendent, Mr. Abdullah-Head. Mr. Abdullah-Head, the floor is yours.
Thank you, President Hellman. So the report that I wanted to share, if you recall, I believe in July, I made a recommendation to propose making, okay,
Go,
all right, of making the mask mandate that the board had approved be optional. You wanted more evidence. So what we did this time is we separated and we surveyed the staff and the families on their own. About 66% of the staff wanted to make masking optional. And about 70% of the parents wanted to make masking to keep the mandate. Again, we're the only school district in Oakland County that is mandating the mask. So what we're proposing, and this is with the blessing of the health officials from Oak Park as well as Oakland County Health Department, that we make masking optional. Now, I know the concerns that parents have, and we're saying we'll respect those concerns. We will provide the masking, that we will provide the rapid test. However, we don't want to force another parent to mask their kid when you want to mask your kid. So the majority of the staff support that, making it optional. My recommendation, along with our health team and our cabinet team, is to make it optional. Again, if, as a parent, if they want to continue to send their kids with a mask, we'll support it. Not only will we support it, we will provide the masking, the N95 mask, the PPE, the regular mask, and the rapid test. However, I have a hard time forcing the will of one over others. And so that's the quarrel that I have. But the only way that we could change that, because the way the board took action on it, is by passing another motion to undo the motion that you passed, because the motion did not have a time stamp on it of expiration. It is, so the only way that it could be undone is through another motion. So that's my recommendation. That's the recommendation of Health Department. We're open for discussion. And if you want more time to digest information and then come back to it, we could do that too. We could ask or provide more questions that you might have. But that's the survey results that we have. So do you have any questions for us at this time?
Trustee Dawkins.
I do know that the junior high school and Key, certain classes are asking kids to wear a mask because my grandkids have come home with them. And I know they didn't leave with them, but they came home with one. And they were asked to bring it back the following day. I believe it's the 7th graders, and it may be the 3rd and 4th graders, I don't know. But I do know that it is the 3rd graders and it is the 7th graders.
Because the motion that was initially passed was that all people, when there's students around, have to be wearing a mask.
Okay.
So that's why you might have sent them home, you might have sent them to school without a mask, but once they enter school, because the board action, we have to give them a mask and they have to wear it.
They don't mind wearing it. It was just that I thought that we had it where we didn't really have to wear them. until they came home from school and said that their classes, We're wearing
They do have to wear them. That's the way it is right now.
okay.
That's
I
where
mean,
we're at.
they don't have a problem wearing them.
Yep, that's what we passed last. So that's where it is now. I do have a couple of questions. In the past, we've heard directly from the nurse.
Vanessa Long?
Miss-
Mm-hmm.
Yes, is she here?
No, but do you
Yeah,
want me
go
to
ahead.
speak to her? So I can speak to that. She and I spoke this weekend after the results came through. And she's in agreement for them to be optional, but to follow the recommendation of Oakland County. So if Oakland County declares our area as there to be a need to re-put them on, then we would follow Oakland County. So wherever there might be cases that increase, or we have provided COVID-19 school guidelines for all the schools that includes wearing masks, we would follow these guidelines. So if you were exposed to positive or presumed positive or had been positive, you'll wear it for the full 10 days. So we would still follow the guidelines through the Oakland County Health Division. We would just make the mask optional. Our guidelines follow Oakland County, the Michigan Health Department, and CDC. So we're aligned with that. And I can share that document with all of you.
Please, did we poll the teachers and support staff that are in administrators in the building? What were the percentages from that?
66% want, I disagree with the current mask requirement, which is, so they want to make it optional, and believe that the district should revisit the mask requirement.
Okay. So it seems that the parents are the ones that would prefer.
And it's understandable, and we will support the parents. A parent has every right to provide to request that. All they have to do is tell us, I want my kid wearing a mask, and we will do the rest. We will provide masks, we will provide weekly N95, we will do testing kits, we will provide all of that. The parents just need to tell us.
Trustee Horton.
It seems like what the parents are saying is not that they want their children to wear masks, but that they'd like it to remain a policy that the other students in the classroom wear masks so that it's safe so that they feel safe sending their children to the buildings. And while I understand from a health perspective, and we've committed throughout this process to follow the health advice. So from that perspective, right now, what CDC, Oakland County Health Division, and Nurse Long are telling us, there's not a reason to have a mask mandate. But what I wonder about is, do we have a sense of how that could impact our attendance? We want to make sure that our students are coming to school consistently, primarily so that they're not missing out on learning. Are we concerned at all about that being a factor, when we have such a large number of parents saying that they'd like that to remain the policy?
I think compare apples to apples where we are with first week of school attendance compared to last year. You're better off this year than you were last year. Our enrollment, if you look at the enrollment numbers and how many students have showed up to school, the numbers exceed that. And there's an argument to be said for unmasking and allowing a student to reestablish a form of normalcy. We're not saying COVID is gone. What we're saying is we believe that we have enough PPE, we have enough processes and procedures in place currently to support that. And then Nurse Long, what we could do is ask her to continue to watch the trends, to give us weekly guidance. We meet with Dr. Green on a weekly basis, and we could reassess the situation at any time that we see a drop or an increase in COVID cases. So, I mean, it's really up to the board to decide. I know it's a tough decision that you have to make.
Trustee Smith.
Yeah, so I'm curious here with schools, because I don't think every school has that mandate that we have at this current time. Have we been looking at those schools that are open
Yeah.
now, that are?
We're the only
maskless?
school in Oakland County.
Okay.
We're the only school in Oakland County that still mandates it.
Okay, what about,
Wayne
what,
County.
what about, results right now? Have we been looking if there's any trends, any upward ticks in transmission of
Is there anything from Vanessa? I mean, just as of Sunday, when we gave you that weekly update, if there's any trend that was alarming, she would be the first to
okay.
to advise us
Okay.
before I even sent out that weekly update to you.
Right. So the numbers, the percentage in regards to parents per the survey, what did that number look like again?
So, 76, but again, you only had 1,100 responses.
Okay,
And you have nearly 4,000 students.
right,
So you don't have 100%
right.
true, you only have the parents, so one could make the argument that the parents that want to push the mandate are filling out the survey,
Right,
but you're not getting 100% true and accurate picture of where we are compared to the staff, where you had over 300 responses.
okay,
So the staff have been clear with, make it optional for us.
right, okay. So at the time, me being a parent, and I did take the survey, and I did push the mask, I did still request for it to stay in place. However, my son is adamant about wearing it, so I know that there may be some students out there who will still continue to wear them, even though we do, if in the case scenario we do drop the mandate, that, there's kids that will and are comfortable still wearing it though, so, okay, thank you.
I did just send that document to all of you, so if you get a chance this evening or tomorrow, if you have any questions, don't hesitate.
Okay, thank you.
Vanessa and I work very closely together on that.
Okay, thank you.
You're asking us to consider this tonight, or is this something you want us to take up at the next meeting?
Only if you're comfortable to address it tonight, but if you need time to digest, then waiting another 2 weeks doesn't hurt anyone until the board is
It's
comfortable.
actually 3 weeks.
3 weeks,
Okay.
no.
I'm just,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we're,
Yeah, it's not, I mean, you've gone this far.
Yeah.
I just want you to feel comfortable. And I did include that in the Sunday update, the Oakland County thing. But again, when you're ready, so if you need more time, consider this just a discussion. Send me emails, any things that come up, send emails, we'll be happy to,
Just one more. Did we survey the kids?
did we want?
Did we
Survey
survey
the
the kids? Just curious.
Not this time. it's
No,
just- Yeah, we just did staff and parents.
Okay,
All right.
thanks.
so we'll have 3 weeks, we'll do another survey of the students.
that would be helpful too, but trustee Clark?
I just had a question. Where was the survey distributed? Because my son is going to Lessinger and I never received the survey as far as a mask mandate is concerned. So when did that go out, just for my own curiosity?
Went out Thursday, and it went out through the parent distribution, through our communications director. It was open all day Thursday until midnight on Friday. And then I distributed the all-staff one
Okay,
to the staff.
just curious.
And it is, have you signed up for listserv distribution?
It's a little, I'm on the parent portal, but
Okay.
I don't think I'm on what you're referring to.
Okay, all right. If you need help, let us know.
Definitely.
You got it? Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll survey, if we could survey
Sure can.
the students themselves.
You got it.
Yeah, so why don't we do that, unless someone else wants to take this up tonight.
No?
Well, I'd be curious to know what our students have to say,
Yeah, like,
and probably to read, what you just sent, and if there are other questions, maybe we can kick them back to you, and you can, reach out to Nurse Long. Trustee Luckins.
And if we do it on the students' survey, can we do it per class?
Do you want
Per
it
grade?
by
Yeah,
grade?
Per grade, yeah. In other words, yeah, per grade.
So customarily, grades 6 through 12 are the grades that are typically
Right.
surveyed.
right.
What about the elementaries now? There are still some kids in elementary
Parents.
It's hard
that
for
are going
them
to school
to,
with them. Yeah.
when they're younger, I'm assuming when they're younger, that the thinking is like they need assistance in making that
I don't think
decision.
fifth graders do. I think fourth and fifth graders, the kids today, know whether they want to wear them or not wear them in fourth and fifth grade.
I know, but I think even sixth and seventh graders, sometimes they don't make the best decisions for themselves.
Right.
So, again, we'll survey. We'll survey. We could ask the principals to send out a letter survey to the parents, but I don't know if it's a good idea to survey the students on their own
Right.
without the parents on that young age.
I'm comfortable with 6 to 12. That should give us an idea.
Okay,
I agree.
sounds good.
All right. Anything more?
No, I think I've taken up enough time. That's good.
Okay, all right, well, thank you. We come to the part of the meeting where the public has an opportunity to address the board if so desires. Public participation is one-way communication in which members of the public are asked to address the full board with the understanding that board members will not be able to respond. Trustee Smith, would you please provide the public comment?
Yes, public comment. Because the Oak Park Board of Education values public meetings, not just meetings in public, we welcome public comment on school issues. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due process for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by public comments. The public comment portion of the meeting cannot be used to make personal attacks against a school board member or school district employee that disrupts the order of the meeting and is totally unrelated to the manner in which the member or employee performs his or her duties. Speakers should be aware if statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy. Such comments may result in legal liability. Most comments can be concisely stated in 3 minutes, and the board respectfully asks that comments remain focused on the topic or issue and not be directed at specific personnel or board members.
All right, thank you. Have you received any cards?
I have not received any cards as of yet.
Are there any members of the public who wish to address the board? Going once? Going twice? Going 3 times? Okay, we're moving on. All right, great. Move on to item 7, action items. And 7A is election of board treasurer. So, Trustee Hoyter.
I would like to nominate Trustee Davis to be the board treasurer. Trustee Davis shared with us in her interview her experience as a small business owner, and that seems to me would serve well in this role.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded.
Find out
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. A motion has been made and seconded for Trustee Davis to serve as the
treasurer.
board treasurer. Trustee Davis, any concerns on this matter?
Want to now.
I tried to lay my head down, but no.
Sounds like Trustee Davis is more than willing and eagerly anticipating such a role.
Lord have mercy.
Any comments from any other members of the board?
No.
Hearing none, Ms. Greer, please call the roll.
Smith,
Yes.
Lunkins,
Yes.
Hoda,
Yes.
Albin,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Because I'm saying if you want to.
Ayes have it, the motion passes, and we have a new treasurer. Thank you, and congratulations as the treasurer. Oh, you're moving on smoothly here, huh?
It's that seat.
It is that seat, it is that seat.
Diplomas that go up for 12 years.
You sat in the wrong seat, because that's where the last treasurer. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, item 7B, approval of Oak Park High School marching band field trip. And Mr. Abdul had any comments on this field trip?
So, according to board policy, we need to present out-of-state requests to you. I do have the band director here who's doing a phenomenal job. Every time I drive by, they're out there practicing this phenomenal job. They are going to Ohio next week, correct? And he's here to answer any questions that you might have But at this time, we're requesting approval that the band be allowed to travel to Ohio.
Can you play a song and play it all the way through? Because I can hear it. Yes.
I'll give kudos that our band director looks like he could be in the band. Looks good.
12th
Looks
grader.
good. All right, Trustee Smith.
Yeah, Mr. Akins, welcome again, and I know that you're doing a phenomenal job. Listen, by any chance, do we have a set schedule of our future trips?
Yes, sir.
In line, we do?
Yes, sir.
What's the possibility of probably doing a pre-approval of that schedule, so that we won't have to bring this to the board every time? I'm just curious here.
Yeah, so we could do that. I could work with our band director and produce a list of upcoming events or any anticipated events, whether it be during academic school year or in the summer, and we'll provide that
Okay,
to you, with the understanding that we could still update you if things change.
okay, and exactly, Mr. Akins, if there are any negatives in regards to just doing a pre-approval, one-shot deal, I mean, do speak, so, if you see something and, out of line with that, it will cause any kind of constraints, so.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
I do have a question. So it's a one-day trip?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so like, go on the 17th and come back on the 17th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it. Okay. Well, you said it's come returning 12 a.m., then it's the 18th, I suppose, right?
Well, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Got it.
11:59.
Right. Okay, all right.
And they're doing a phenomenal job, and plenty of support systems in place to ensure that we have parent chaperones, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And we have plenty of support, so this is a great experience for the students, and the more experiences we provide for the kids, the better off they are.
Is this a competition?
Yes, sir.
You gonna win?
That's the plan. Tradition.
All right. We'll entertain a motion. Trustee Smith?
Okay. Resolved that the Oak Park Board approve an out-of-state field trip on 9/17/22. The performance will be held at Euclid High School in Euclid, Ohio. The bus will be leaving at 11 a.m. and 12 a.m.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Smith, seconded by Lunkins. Any questions or comments on the motion, Trustee Hood?
Make a friendly amendment.
Go for it.
We'll be leaving at 11 a.m. and returning 12 a.m.
On the 18th.
the following day.
Okay, so like, you accept the friendly amendment?
Yeah, I accept the amendment.
Friendly amendment accepted, we're good? Okay.
Okay.
I just have one comment.
Yes, sir.
Don't lose to nobody in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, trust me. I know about that a little bit. I'm actually coming from Ohio, so I know that right. Yeah.
Go down and
Yeah.
take care of business in Ohio and hurry back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Spoken like a Michigan fan. Ms. Greer, please call the roll.
Smith,
Yes.
Lunkins,
Yes.
Alvin,
Yes.
Hoda,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
and Davis.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Good luck in Ohio,
Thank you.
and I hope you all have fun.
Thank you. We appreciate it though, for real. This is just the start for me with this band, so I want y'all to know that we're taking it serious and, one step at a time. So I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, good job.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
We're at item 8A, information items, section 98B, goal progress report, and Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, Cassandra Baptiste.
All right,
The floor
good
is yours.
evening, members of the board, good evening, audience, and all those watching. So I am offering an information item on section 98B, a progress goal report that we have to do in February of 2023 by the first board meeting of February, and so that would be February 13th according to our current schedule, and then by June 12th of 2023 before the end of our school year, and this will be also posted onto the transparency link. This report is mandated by the state of Michigan per the legislator, and it's correlated to the extended COVID-19 learning plans that we had in place in 2020 and also the school year 2021. And so what we have to do is establish goals. We also have to affirm that we're using a benchmark, a state-approved benchmark assessment, which we do. We're using the iReady assessment for math and also for ELA, and we are currently administering the iReady assessment at this time. So we administer in the fall, we administer again in the winter, which takes place January right before the winter break, and then we administer it again at the end of the year. And that's how we measure for student growth. Student proficiency is measured on the M-STEP. And so for the purpose of making sure that we meet the criteria, we've shared with the state which benchmark assessment we'll be using, so that's iReady. And the goal that we're going to address is addressing a median student growth percentile incrementally over the course of the school year. So we're saying that by the middle of the school year, that our students will be at the 50th percentile marking, and that this will be reflective of the fall to winter scaled growth per the iReady assessment in ELA and also in math, and this is for grades K through 8. And so I'm sharing that as an information item that in February we'll actually have the data, and then again in June, and we'll have it presented on the transparency link.
Thank you. Any questions, comments from members of the board? Trustee Hoyer.
So last year, we also used iReady, is that correct?
This is
And-
our second year using iReady.
This is our second year using iReady, and we saw encouraging results on our end-of-year growth numbers. Our proficiency numbers look somewhat different, and understanding the difference between proficiency and growth, they're measuring two different things. What do we want to see in those growth numbers that would indicate that we will start to see an impact on our proficiency numbers as well?
So if we are exceedingly across the board higher than a 50th percentile ranking across a grade level, that's an indicator that on the M-STEP, for instance, which measures proficiency, that we'll be able to see grade level performance. And so aside from that, an upcoming presentation will actually be on our MyKIP goals, because our MyKIP goals is a 3-year plan of how we're specifically addressing proficiency. And so those goals, we are going to share where we're at with proficiency at this time. There's iReady, and that's telling us our student growth and how they're performing at grade level. And then, as you know, the proficiency is going to tell us how close to grade level are they, how far away from grade level are they, and what are the gaps that we need to be filling to better help our students. So we know from our data of last year that our students are able to make annual student growth. We want that to be reflected on state assessments. And I say that very on the edge of my seat, because we teach students, not necessarily, we want the results to be shown for proficiency. Every parent wants that and every educator wants that, but what we want more than ever is that not only are students maintaining student grade level proficiency, but that they're learning material, that they're catching up, that they're engaging in critical thinking and applying their skills to better chances and opportunities. So that's what I'm doing now within my department, and also across all of our buildings, is just letting September, let's have a strong start. Let's create opportunities for connection, and let's also focus on doing our first round of assessments. And then my next step in mid-October is to present on our proficiency and overall. I feel like if we're slow to grow, that'll be a lot stronger, and really showcasing growth from where we were fall last year to fall this year, I think is really important, because we're in our second year of iReady.
And our, by law, we have to evaluate teachers, principals, superintendent on standardized testing numbers. Are we using growth numbers from iReady for that assessment, for that evaluation, or are we using M-STEP numbers and proficiency for that?
It's a composite score that combines both. So it's roughly 40%, that is a combination of both.
I'm sorry, what was that? And then for third grade reading,
Yes.
so that is a proficiency number.
That is a proficiency number, yes.
And where do we stand with our students in terms of our third graders, our second graders? Are they on track to be able to maintain their grade level without having to face the state mandated
Yeah. So
rigmarole?
what we had last year was approximately, I think it was 17. I can share the numbers again, but it was about 17 students that did not meet that criteria, and we met with each family. They have the ability to decide, along with their teacher and also the building principal, should they progress to the next grade level. They all were offered a seat in summer school for targeted additional supports. And what we do is, in addition to iReady, they take the DIBELS assessment, and so we're able to create individualized reading plans to better support the students and then inform the teachers in the fourth grade. These are the students that were in this situation and have indicators or markers for second grade and third grade of who is significantly below grade level, and showcasing like there's a prediction that they need additional interventions and supports. And so each of our elementary buildings is outfitted with a literacy coach for early childhood reading, an instructional coach, and a Title I teacher that provides intervention supports. And then we know we need even more than that, so we're really trying to work hard on like what other grants can we secure to better support with early childhood literacy and a continuation of literacy beyond disciplinary literacy at the secondary level. Because we've got the Read by Grade 3 law, but we know that literacy is something that's critical even beyond for post-secondary readiness.
So just to make sure I have all my assessments straight. MSTEP is proficiency, iReady is growth,
Yep.
DIBELS is skills,
DIBELS is skills, and it also gives indicators for growth, and it gives educators an indicator for proficiency. It can support for both.
and then WIDA is English language
Yes.
skill. Okay. Thank you.
Now remember, MSTEP will also not only show proficiency, but when there's tremendous amount of growth, it also acts as a leading indicator. And if you think about last year's third graders, really that was their first year in school, right? Because at kindergarten they were remote,
Right.
first, second grade. So how can you really expect a third grader to have the same opportunity that a third grader had 6 years ago? So
This year's third grade.
yeah, well, yeah, last year's. Last year's third graders was the first year that actually were in school, right? Because COVID,
I would have thought they would have been in kindergarten, and maybe first and second grade would have been affected.
19 kindergarten to 1920. Yeah,
Either way,
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
yes.
18 months.
We
they
shouldn't
missed
have
it.
left you. Now we're back. Yeah, Van, well,
This
he's
is
out,
where we
but
need
that's
more
where
math.
Van got.
This is where we need to work on our math stuff.
Your hip hop game is.
On point.
Any other questions from members of the board? All right, look forward to that.
Thank you, board, also for your support throughout the years with this whole process. Like,
And we have a new curriculum this year, right? So that's exciting.
All right, we're at item 8B, MASB Annual Leadership Conference, Grand Traverse Resort and Spa, October 20th through the 23rd of 2022. Are there any board members who want to attend this event? I cannot, because I will just be getting back in town. Trustee Smith, you want to go?
Yes, I would like to go. And to
I mean, you would also, we normally say.
So typically, any board member that would like to attend would attend. We would have, at our next board meeting, we would bring a resolution to approve board member attendance at the Michigan Association of School Boards Annual Leadership Conference, and that would include, the district would pay for the conference, for the hotel stay, for the mileage to travel there, and also for the food. And there are policies about what, in our policies, it specifies what the limit on that is, in terms of making sure that I think the district won't pay for alcohol and pays up to a certain amount per day for food. And that would be the same if a staff member was going to a conference. And then the other thing that we would do at our next meeting is appoint representatives from the board for the assembly. So on the Thursday night of the conference, there is a membership assembly where they vote on bylaws and policies for Michigan Association of School Boards. And I think typically we get 3 or 4 representatives with 1 or 2 alternates. If that's off the top of my head, I could be wrong on that number. And then along with the representatives from all across the state, you would have an opportunity to vote on those items.
Thank you. I do note that it says the room blocks at the Grand Traverse Resort Spa and Sleep and Suites are full. And so there's a person to contact to be added to the waiting list for that, so there's an overflow space. I don't know, they must have sent something out about this some time ago, because I don't know how they got full.
President Melvin?
Yes.
So typically what we'll do is, once you identify who's interested in going, we will register you in hotels and do all of that. There's a pre-conference session on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Even though you might get a allowance on meals, all they do is feed you there all day, morning, lunch, and night.
And
They don't typically serve dinner though.
But
there
the
are-
different vendors
That's true.
and sponsors are always taking you out. And the good thing about that is you don't have to pay for it.
That's right.
and Traverse City has lots of great dining.
Yes.
And hotels, I'm not concerned.
Still go
You
there.
know, just one more thing, that this is actually earlier. It's in October. Normally it's in November, and it's cold.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this time it's
So I only have Trustee Smith right now interested in going.
My son's
Yeah.
turning 5 that week, so
Okay.
I don't think I'll be able to go.
right.
I won't be able to.
Okay.
So right now it's
I'm
Trustee
thinking
Smith.
about it.
Okay, and
I'll
potentially
let you
I'll
Trustee.
send out a follow-up email and then we'll register you and then we'll have a report
Yeah.
at the next meeting.
Okay.
And then when board members come back from the conference, they typically share with the board and the community the sessions they attended and how that, and any information that would be helpful to the full
I
board.
was looking to see, is this one also a hybrid? Is it a virtual as well?
I don't think so.
No, it's
No,
in person.
Okay. All right. But then we want to inform the new board trustees that some of the sessions, some of the learning, education sessions that you can take online also, just in case. So it's not a missed opportunity. Okay.
All right. Anything else on that? Nothing?
And if this year's Traverse City, I think that means next year is Detroit. They usually.
It's a lot easier to travel there.
Right.
And technically, it's Acme, which is where the Grand Traverse Resort is located. It's actually technically in Acme, but it's very close to Traverse City. Might as well. Anyway, all right, if nothing else, we'll move on to item 9, Board Administration Communications. Are there any communications from members of the administration?
Yes.
I have one. I'd like to congratulate and welcome Dr. Hill. Dr. Edwina Hill will be our next Chief Financial Officer for the Oak Park School District. If you'd like to stand up. Dr. Hill earned a Bachelor's of Science from in Business Administration with a concentration in accounting from the University of Detroit Mercy. She has a Master's of Business Administration in Finance from Davenport University, and she is a Doctor of Ministry and Religious Studies from the United Theological Seminary of Dayton, Ohio. Dr. Hill completed her Chief of Financial Officer, her CFO certification in 2018 through the Michigan School Business Officials, and earned her administrator certificate with a central office endorsement through the Michigan Association of Superintendents and Administrators in January of 2022. Dr. Hill brings 26 years of experience and a wealth of knowledge to Oak Park schools in the areas of school finance from 4 different districts, where she most recently served as the Chief Financial Officer at Madison District. She is completing that assignment now. She has also served at the Ypsilanti School District as the Director of Business and Finance. She's been at the Southfield Public Schools, where she was a program supervisor in state, federal programs, and she had spent some time working at Detroit Public Schools as a program supervisor. She has a wealth of experience in grants, school finance, development, all the compliance issues that come our way daily in school finance. She will begin her assignment October 3rd of 2022, and we're just excited to welcome her to Oak Park Schools. She's been enjoying work with already.
Thank you for having me, and I am very thankful to join the family here at Oak Park Public Schools. So,
Say
thank
that
you
again
very
for the
much. What did you say?
You want to say that again for the record?
Oh, okay. For the record, I just want to say thank you for having me. I'm excited to join the Oak Park family here, and I look forward to, everything that we're going to experience together.
Thank you.
Much good to have you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome.
She has promised us that she will retire here and is not going nowhere. That's a guarantee.
That's right. I'm also a resident of Oak Park for
That's
the
right.
last 22 years.
Okay.
So, finally,
She's
thank
home.
you so much.
Trustee White?
Along with Trustee Smith, I had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Hill when we visited Madison last summer. She spoke very highly of Mr. Abdulahad, of course, and helped us understand a lot about the finances of the Madison district and some of the things that had happened there. And that was, and so getting to know her then really, I think both of us walked away from that experience very confident and very impressed with the work that has been done there. And so it's exciting to have you here as part of the team.
Thank you so much. I'm excited,
All right.
and I look,
No, so we're excited for you as well.
yes, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Anything else from the administration?
Okay.
Okay, any communication from members of the board? Okay, hearing none, we will then call for a closed session. So is there a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Section 8C of the Open Meetings Act for the purposes of holding strategy negotiations, a session conducted with a collective bargaining agreement? Trustee Wood.
So moved.
I didn't read the motion.
Okay.
I was just letting know.
I move that per Section 8C of the Open Meetings Act, for the purpose of strategic negotiations for a contract, that the Oak Park Board of Education move into closed session.
Second.
Motion made by Hood, seconded by Watkins. Any question on the motion? Hearing none, Ms. Greer, please call the roll.
Clark,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Elwin,
Yes.
Hoda,
Yes.
Lunkins,
Yes.
and Smith.
Yes.
Okay, with that, we will get ready to go into closed session. So generally speaking, that we stay in here for a closed session, so we would ask that members of the public please adjourn themselves while we go through this process. Thank you so much.
And we'll be